We're seeing you here, and I love that for you. And I think Perry might be one of the standouts from the series. How was this show
No, wait,
originally?
have you seen more episodes than I have?
No, I've just seen a couple of them so far.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but I just, he's one of those incredibly funny hosts, though, that like you endear yourself to, I feel like.
Oh, that means a lot. I mean, I hope that that really does come across because I think the character of Perry is so lovable. Like he's just filled with utter joy all the time, which
Yes.
I love. Like he's definitely a performer and is truly alive when he's on camera. But like in everything that these, I mean, Vanessa Bayer and Jeremy Byler, who co-created the show, I mean, their comedy is always very joyful and positive and upbeat. And it's like I just feel incredibly lucky to say the words that they and the writers are coming up with. Uh, it's so fun, so
How did
fun.
they describe Perry then to you?
So in the breakdown, it was basically that he had that good old Southern charm. He was a star and he knows it. The audience love him. He's the beloved host of Perry's Kitchen Corner, and they said, "Is he gay? Is he straight? We don't know."
I don't
That
think
was
it
the point.
matters at this point.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. I think yeah. I mean, again, like through I've been in LA now for 11 years, and all I've wanted to do is do comedy that makes people laugh in a joyful way, like they're in on the joke with whatever character I'm doing, and I feel like this is the perfect uh opportunity to do that. So
Was there any room for you to add anything to him, or was he just, sort of perfect for you on the page?
it's funny because I my last roommate who I lived with, we like when we wanted to kind of get at each other about taking out the trash or doing the dishes or something, we just started doing this voice to each other that was like, would you please get in here and do the dishes? I'm not going to do it myself, Greg, please. And I read the breakdown for Perry and I was like,
You're like, are
this
you in
is
my house? Are you
that
guys
is just
watching?
I know. I was like, I'm just gonna, you also get to the point when you're auditioning where it's like sometimes you put way too much thought into it and way too much pressure on it. And I read this and I was like, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna have fun doing that voice. And I did it and I ad-libbed a little bit. And it was just one of those perfect luck meets opportunity meets preparation by yelling at my roommate in this voice, and it just kind of worked. And then on set there was definitely, it was a really encouraging environment to add things in and improvise. And between every take, Jesse Klein, who's the showrunner, or Jeremy or Vanessa or any of the writers would rush out on set and be like, say something like this, or like, how about this, or could you just improvise around this part? And so it was so fun. I just never wanted it to end.
Well, that's a perfect segue. Did you get much chance to improv when it came to this? I feel like with your history with the voice, maybe
Yeah,
they were just like, okay, we know that you have this history with it. Do you for a little
yeah,
bit? Just
totally. I mean, like, listen, you always, I mean, honestly, in reading these scripts, I have literally never read scripts that have made me laugh out loud as consistently as the scripts for this show. It really doesn't happen. Like, and there are other times when I've read scripts and I'll read it and I'll be like, this is really funny, but it doesn't make me audibly laugh. Whereas
uh,
these scripts, I was laughing out loud. So let's just say, first of all, they didn't need anybody to improvise. They had the funniest stuff on the page already. But then, as it's going and you hear it, uh, anyone would say, "Ooh, that's sparking my brain to go here," or they'd say, "All right, we've got it and we've got time, so John will just like improvise on this take, and which was a little, there's pressure there because the writing's already so good. It's like, I don't know if I'm gonna do anything better, you guys, but okay, we'll give it a go.
I love I love his connection though with Joanna. I feel like once she announces that she has cancer, he's like, "Oh, my precious baby," like he's one of those like, "Oh, you precious
Oh,
baby, bless
come
your
on.
heart. I'm just gonna have to, like swaddle you, you sweet, like she's put you in a little glass cage now so we can protect."
But at the same time, he's still got an ego. Like in that moment where it's like, come on, give him a big hug. You're not, Jesus ain't gonna take you yet. We're gonna keep you right here. You're gonna be okay. Now, what's your name again?
Exactly.
You know?
It's very Southern, motherly, but
Yes.
then like, okay, you have, I hope this doesn't affect my job. Let's just move on with this. I've business, like, good,
Yes.
I'm sorry for you, but hey, my show's up next.
Yeah.
I got work. I'll
Exactly. I
see you
got work
around
to
the
do.
water cooler.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It must be hard then to keep a straight face while you're filming. Is there someone that tended to break the most while you were shooting? I mean, Molly
Oh,
Shannon is a comedy icon. Vanessa is a comedy legend in her own right. So, I
Jennifer
mean, they
Lewis. I mean, and then like the rest of the cast is, I almost broke a lot. I almost broke a lot. Like, um, there were times when I would have to, like, Sudie Green, who's one of the writers and co-executive producers, was like, could you say this? And the line she would give me would make me giggle so much. And I was like, I'm sorry, I need a second before I can even say this. But everybody on set was so funny that there were times when I thought, all right, I'm just going to scene, like she doesn't have lines, and I'd look over to her and she'd be making a face, like reacting to something. I'd be like, oh no, I'm going to start to laugh. Like you couldn't look anywhere without starting to laugh or, losing it, like completely losing it.
Oh, sorry about that. Now it's the arrival of something here. Sorry.
Yeah.
The series is so sweet and it's just going to be so much of a good giggle. Were there certain episodes or maybe memorable moments you're most excited for fans to get to see? If you can tease.
God, I mean, listen, I can't give out any spoilers. I just think that um Perry and who he is enamored with at different points in the season, and just things that you just will not see coming with Molly's character, things that are really funny but also kind of shocking. And I just think the writers and Vanessa and Jeremy have done an incredible job at putting all the ingredients there for the surprises that will come out in the season to make total sense, but you do not see them coming. So I think, like, once you start getting to the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth episodes, every episode has something where you're just going to be like, oh my, how did I not see that coming? But this is crazy. Like, it's going to be a really fun ride. Like, you're right. There's a ton of heart. It's really a beautiful show about, just talking about dealing with the issues of being yourself and having yourself be enough. And I think that's a great message, but at the same time, it's so funny. And there are so many things that are going to really throw the audience. I think people are going to be really, really excited every week.
It sounds like the perfect recipe for a must-watch TV.
I think so. Yeah.
You do have such great comedic timing. Is it something that's always just been an innate ability for you? Have you studied about it?
Well, thank you for saying that. Growing up, one of the biggest things was laughter in my household with my parents and my brother. Like, we were always laughing, even like with my grandmother. My grandmother is 96 years old. She laughs her little ass off every day. And so that was always there. And growing up, my friends would, I'm always friends with people who are funny or clever, who would give me little bits to do in the carpool to middle school. And then when I came to LA, eventually I studied at the Groundlings, where I learned, writing and performing as a character, being in character. And usually they're kind of over the top characters, which I think works for Perry. But yeah, it was kind of a mix of something that, my greatest thing to do in life is laugh. And that was in me from day one with my family. I mean, my dad, when I was 1 year old, they would have people over and I'd be sitting in my high chair, and my dad was like already prepping me to perform, because he would say, "Johnno, make muscles." I couldn't even talk, but he'd say, "Johnno, make muscles." And I would just go like that, like tense everything up in my body. And their friends would laugh. And I think that probably like implanted in my head. And I was like, perform and make people happy. So yeah, it's kind of always been there.
Is that then what gravitates you to different roles? You like to find comedic? I mean, we often see you in these wonderfully humorous roles. Is that the genre that you tend to feel the most comfortable in?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm still at the point in my career where I'm just want to do really anything. I think for the most part, I'm like, it was like lucky that this show came along when it did, and it just everything came together at the right time, and it's like the greatest thing ever. I mean, this and last year being in Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David, where I got to improvise, and it's like this is such a blessing that these two things have happened back to back, and they're just, they fit my what I want to do so perfectly. But yeah, in general, comedy is totally where comedy is king, in my mind.
You're a part of social media. Are you ready for the onslaught of remarks and GIFs coming your way based on these wonderfully funny episodes for I Love That For You?
Honestly, bring it on. Bring it on. There won't be, because there are for everything. However, I just know how much fun everybody had on this set, how genuinely kind and generous people were on this set. And I think, and I hope that comes through, because, I think a lot of times when people are having fun creating something, it comes out on screen in this way that you can't really put your finger on. And I think that's what's going to happen with this show, and knock on wood. And I'm just so excited for people to see it and enjoy it.
What are the other projects you've been busy working on lately?
I'm writing some things on my own. I did the Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. I'm shooting a short film with a few friends in a couple of weeks, and yeah, really just gearing up for the premiere of this show next week.
Excuse me. How do you plan to
You're welcome.
celebrate? No, I touched the button. How do you plan to celebrate the premiere?
Well, we have the little red carpet event next Wednesday. So my girlfriend, Annalisa Vanderpool, and I will be attending that event, which will be great, and a little after party. And then, I think next weekend we'll just get together with some friends and maybe rewatch it. But Wednesday night I'm really looking forward to Wednesday night.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work that you do on our screens?
Well, first and foremost, thank you. I've found, especially in the last couple of years, as I've gotten a little more work and done more things on social media, that people have been so supportive and so generous. And I just hope that whatever I do can continue to bring people a couple laughs every week. And I just hope people are doing their best to get the laughs they need. Because there's nothing like a good, hearty laugh.
Agreed. I think this show
Yeah.
is going to be the needed levity we all need.
I hope so. I hope so. I think you're right.